Hey, what's up, guys? You're back. It's a great thing. Hey, again, I'm coming to you with another phenomenal product by Oracle Lighting. Obviously, big fan of the company, even a bigger fan of their products. On today's video, we're going to focus on the Oracle RGB plus W Bluetooth rock light system. Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, this install takes a good amount of time, but we're gonna get you through it. Let's go ahead and dive into the install now. Here we go. All right, so the first step in removing the wheel liner is removing the fenders. I love it how easy Ford made it to remove these fenders. Check this out. Once you have all those pushed down, you just pull it off. Just like that. Next, we're gonna just start removing the plastic retainer clips. There's always one that does something like this. It just spins. That's why I can't stand these clips. Also why I bought extras. Also, there are 4 7mm screws. Okay, now, so for the rock lights, I don't want them to be visible when they're on, if at all possible. And the thing I noticed, before you take out the wheel liner, try to decide where you're gonna place your rock lights. And there's actually 2 indentions. So if you look at these 2 holes, right underneath it, there's kind of an indention right there. So I think that will be a good spot for this one. And on the other side, in between this hole and this hole, there's another indention. Now, my only concern is it's not completely flat right there, but I still think it'll work. It kind of at an angle on this side. On this side, kind of the same thing, but I'm not as concerned with this one over here. So I'm gonna try here. And then if that doesn't work, I'm gonna just move it over to the next flat spot, which would be, so you've got the angles coming down at both. Ideally, I don't want these to be seen. I just want the light to be seen, but we'll see how it goes. All right, once you got the 12 plastic retainer screws removed and the 4 7mm bolts removed, we should just be able to pull the liner out. There we go. Lift me, baby. I love that. And for the back wheel liner, it's pretty much the same process. We are going to remove the fenders. Just 4 simple clips. Just 5 simple clips. There always has to be one, always. Now up here on the top, on the rear, there's like a little wing nut. You just twist that off by your hand. All right, so before you go to pull the wheel liner out, let's verify some things. You should have 11 of these plastic retainer screws. You should have 3 of the 7mm screws, and you should have 1 of the wing nuts. The ones I will point out that are sneaky. 7mm, there's 1 sneaky one that's underneath here. All right, the other 2 are here and here. There you go. The sneaky plastic retainer clip, let me back up so I can show you exactly where to go, is right there. All right. And then obviously just around the rim. It's easy to miss them. So again, make sure 11 of the plastic retainer screws, 3 of the 7mm screws, and 1 of the wing nuts before we pull the wheel liner out. Moment of truth. Find it's best to kind of pull the back down, and then it just slides right out. All right, so that's how you remove the front and the rear wheel liners. I'm not gonna waste your time and insult your intelligence and show you the other side. It's obviously the exact same thing as the driver's side. So just repeat the steps on the passenger side, and then let's go take a look at the products and let's get this install started. All right, so now that we've got the wheel liners off, let's do a little unboxing of the Oracle 8-piece Bluetooth RF LED light kit. All right, we've got our instructions and our contents. Got the remote. Should have 8 of these boxes, and we do. Now I do recommend you go ahead and open all of these before you start the installation, but just to save time for us, let's just open one of these boxes. We've got, looks like 2 different types of mountings for the light, depending on where you're mounting these. One is a flat surface, one is a round surface. Associated hardware. And then the light itself. It's metal, it's heavy, it's got some weight, I like that. It's got your LEDs in here. And then your cable with the weatherproof adapter, that's nice. So we're gonna have 8 of these. And then this box will be our controller. It's got our switch, inline fuse, the connectors. Now I do like this. It's got the QR code for you to download the app so you can control it all from your phone. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. All right, so the installation of the rock lights themselves is actually going to be pretty simple once you have the wheel liner out. Again, just deciding where you want to place your rock lights. Where I am going to attempt is in this groove here. It's going to be behind the fender. You won't be able to see the light. The brace is a little bit wider. So we're going to try it. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then we can move it around. Just using a little poke tool, poke me 3 little holes so I can see them. Then I'm going to take my drill. I'm using a 7/64 drill bit. It's about the same size as the hardware that comes with it. So we're going to put that in and continue on. One thing, do not cut these wires. Do not make any modifications to these wires because it will void the warranty. They do make extensions if you need them, which I picked up. So make sure you do that. All right, once you got the hole large enough, the good thing is this rubber piece is gonna cover the holes. So don't get too worried about them. Once you get them all the way through, I'm just gonna hand tighten them to start. Then we're gonna get our Allen wrench, tighten these down, and move on to the second one. And just so you can see, just kind of pushed in there, hand tightened on the back. So now what we're gonna do is put a wrench on these. Our Allen wrench size that we're using is 7/64, and we're gonna tighten it up. You definitely don't have to over tighten them. You just want to make it to where it's kind of sealed there. And the way I looked at it is when it started indenting, I didn't need to go any tighter. And now we're just going to install the second rock light in the front wheel well. Again, we're not going to need the curved mount. Now the 2 little nuts that are in here, very, very small. See, something like this could happen. The nut will get stuck in the back of one of these little indentions. Thought it was lost. So be very careful with those. Same thing with your washers. All right, and there you have it. There's the install for front wheel liners for the Oracle rock lights. Again, I put them kind of in that indention. Shouldn't be a problem, and you shouldn't be able to see them either. The fenders are going to protect those really well as well. So now all that's left to do is run the wiring and put it on the Bronco and connect it to the module. And the process is very similar for the rear wheel liners. The only difference is this: on the backs, for one, these are hard plastic. The fronts are like a fabric. I'm not really sure why they do that differently, but anyway, on these have like a little pad on the back. I'm guessing it's maybe for sound dampening. Again, I'm not sure why they didn't just use the same type ones. Maybe because these get dirtier and these are easier to spray out. Who knows? But these are just glued on. All right, so where I'm gonna place these, there's actually two little indentions. There's an indention here and there's an indention here, and they're pretty evenly spaced apart. It'll also help set it flush. The only thing is that's where these glue points are, which isn't a big deal, because what I'll do is I will just drill through these and I will use the screws on the back of the rock lights to hold this on as well. Now, you might also see that eventually I am putting the fiber optic system in here as well. So this whole piece is going to have to come off regardless. And then I will glue the whole piece back down, hot glue the whole piece back down. But for now, we're just going to pull these up and we're going to drill through them for the rock lights. All right, so there is the rear wheel liner. Again, the only difference I did from the front to the back is on the front, these are facing this way, and in the back, they're facing that way. And the only reason I did that was because it just fit better here. This light, it doesn't matter which way it's going. It's just gonna be straight out and out, so it doesn't matter which way it's turned. So now all we gotta do is get it installed and wire it up, and we'll be good to go. All right, so I just finished up the installation of the rock lights. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you how I did it. But the first thing I wanted you to do and be able to see is, you know, what we talked about earlier about the rock lights being hidden. It worked. As you can see, once the fenders are back on, you can't really see the lights themselves. You can kind of see the ones in the back, but the front ones are completely tucked up. And that was something that was really important to me. So let me go ahead and show you how we did this. Come here. So we'll start with the back. As we come up in, you see that the lights are in. But as we back out, can't really see them. For the front, we have the same thing. Lights are tucked very nicely up in there. All right, so now to see how I wired it up, we're gonna have to get underneath the Bronco. So come with me. Now what I'll show you is, as you can see, here are my cables. And all I've done, you're gonna have two to each wheel. On the driver's side, I just zip tied them to this wiring harness. The extensions that I use for the back are connected right here. This is right before I run it up into the wheel well, into the engine bay. Then as far as the engine bay goes, by the way, hood struts, definitely a mod you should do. As you go into the engine bay, you'll see there's the modular there. And I just put it back there, zip tied it, and made it to where the QR code was easily seen. You can see where the wires are coming up in. Power, I just used the ground back here, the common ground, and then wired it up to the battery with the fuse. Pretty simple. Last thing is the grommet that is down by the firewall here is where I pushed through the power cable, the switch for the interior. I'll show you that. So as you can see, the grommet where the cord is coming out, and then the place I am positioning it is going to be right here. I'm going to put it right by the switch, and that'll be where I mount it. All that's left to do now is wait till the nighttime and show these bad boys off. I'm going to show you how it works with the included remote and also with the app, because this is a Bluetooth controlled system. It's pretty sweet. So let's come back and wait for it to get a little dark and knock this bad boy out. I'm impatient.
That's actually not too bad. As you can see, these lights are very bright. They put out a lot of light. Now, while I was doing this video, I was using the remote, but I wanted you to see the app is actually really cool. When I have this in my phone mount and I want to adjust the colors, the app is much easier to use than the remote is. The remote works, but the app works even better. I like all the options. You can, pick the different colors. You can pick the light intensity. You can adjust the speed as you're seeing here. You've got strobe effects, fade effects. There's just so much that you can do within the app. Really impressed with these lights and with the system.
All right, y'all, so there's the full video of the Oracle Rocklight Bluetooth system. I gotta be honest with you, I'm really happy with it. I love the quality, I love the output, I love the functionality. If I had to make one suggestion though, I would love to have seen Oracle put an indicator light on the switch that is mounted on the inside of the Bronco. Because the reason why I say that is, it's hard to tell if the lights are on unless it's pitch dark out, and really you're not gonna have it on unless it's dark, but in that dusk time period, it would be nice to be able to know if it's on, because since there's 3 ways you can power it from the switch, from the remote, or from the app. And that's a little difficult. Sometimes I end up having to get out to look to see if they're on or not. That could have easily been solved with just like a red indicator light, knowing that the lights were powered at the time. But other than that, absolutely love the product. I will put a link to that product in the description below. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I've done over 30 videos now for the Ford Bronco, so I'm sure you can find something in there that is of interest to you. But until next time, catch you guys on the flip side.